Welcome to the Venus and Mars Show, and we are so happy to have you here with us once again. I'm Peter, or Mars.
And I'm Ann, Venus.
Tonight we have author Mark Sapula with us tonight, and he'll be joining us shortly to talk about the latest book
books.
and all the other books that he has written and what he's thinking about writing. Ann?
Well, he's had one, The Last Longshoreman, very interesting. He's done a couple in the past too, more on the sports, but this time he's changed over to kind of the underground criminal thing. And a new one that's going to be released next month, so hopefully we have him back and we'll be able to introduce that book to you as well.
Yeah, well, I want to ask him a couple of questions myself for personal reasons, because I, believe it or not, don't laugh. I mean, I do want to write a book someday.
About?
I can't say. I don't want anybody stealing my idea. But I did. The idea came to me the other day. I wrote it on a piece of paper, and I wrote the premise, and I've stored it away.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, you're good to go.
I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but it's something I would like to,
Is it true? Is it not true?
No, it's not true.
Okay.
Okay. So how have you been?
I've been doing okay, hating this weather.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the weather, it's been, let's see, polar conditions on Monday. And, geez, I don't know, tropical storm almost like today.
Yeah, but the wind.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy.
There's several trees down I saw in my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood, and that's why I had to, one of the reasons I called here earlier tonight at your suggestion, Plymouth, a lot of places in Plymouth had lost power.
Yeah.
I don't mean thousands, but I think my wife said hundreds or something like that. So, so what have you been up to lately?
Well, just working a lot.
You still working 7 days a week?
Of course I do. I'm a maniac.
Punishment, I just don't know.
Some of it's fun stuff,
I
though.
know. I've got some interesting things going on. I mean, I got this crazy radio thing I'm doing with my brother. We're almost done with that. And I was on an interesting video shoot with an upcoming rap star. I shouldn't say rap star. Hopefully he'll be a rap star. And although that's not my kind of music, I enjoyed...
I really wonder how you got on it.
I'm Mr. Big.
Get the hell out of here.
Well, I'm in a suit and everything. I'm his sort of, he's my commodity.
Uh-huh.
So I was on 2 shoots already, and I got one supposedly Saturday, another one. So this is sort of an ongoing thing.
Wow.
But all I'm saying is that not about that. It's just that I was in an environment, they had like 100 kids at this record store as extras. And it was just me in line with them.
Is there even such a thing as a record store?
Yeah, it's a record store. This was up in Salem, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Okay. So anyway, you know how you come in and you don't. There's never any real order to those things. You find you go, oh yeah, just go down the line. Wait. So I'm in the middle of this line with dozens of people who could be my grandchildren. I'm the only one in a suit.
That's why I just don't
Yeah, right.
see
It doesn't
the
make it.
whole fit, you know?
I thought I'm in the wrong place. Well, finally, the director, who I had worked with 10 years ago, yelled out my name. Peter, is that you? And I said, yes. He parts the crowd and he saves me because I felt like I was a sword sticking out like a sore thumb.
Oh, yeah.
None of these kids were talking to me.
No.
I don't blame them. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was rescued out of there because I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I was an executive for the record company.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just a lot of fun. It was a little bit embarrassing, but it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
anyway. So,
They're all fun.
Yeah,
All of
so,
them that I go on. Whether I like them or not,
yeah.
I find all the shoots and the movies and any kind of things that I do, I still find them fun experiences. I've never had a bad one.
Well, I was just Tuesday. I was a what is it? What do they say? Art imitates life, or whatever.
Yes.
I was a contractor, a handyman in a commercial. Well, I'm now.
So you went as yourself.
Well, pretty much.
Was
yeah.
that easy for you?
Oh yeah, I was. I'm Mr.
You didn't have to get into character on that
I'm
one?
Mr. Easy, you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Plus, well, no, it's not time for that line.
Yeah.
But anyway, so things have been good. I mean, things are busy and, whatever. So without further ado, shall we bring on Mark?
Absolutely.
All right.
Hi, Mark. Thanks
Hi.
so much for coming on.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on our show. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I'm
I
really
know
excited
that.
to be here.
Are
Good.
you really glad
I'm
to
really,
be here?
really excited to be here.
You don't
Yeah,
know
we'd
what
like
you're
to
in
hear
for.
that.
She can be,
Oh, yeah.
tough
Well,
fun.
it depends on who the guest is. So.
So you'd
I
be
know
fine
she's
then.
tough on me.
Then I'll be fine.
He's a whole different story, though. Right? I can be.
Yeah, can be. Usually is. But
He just
yeah.
winked at me, by the way.
Uh-oh. I'd be worried now.
Me or you?
Time out. All right.
Anyway,
It's not about me, it's about you, Mark.
Thank you.
so I understand that you're writing now.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're authoring how many books?
I'm about to put out my 5th one.
5th.
Should be 6, actually 7, but yeah, this will be 5. We can get to that though.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So how did you originally start? When did you know that you had this?
I tell you, it's a long story, but I was jobless, and a couple friends of mine were thinking about launching a website way back in the day. It was sort of edgy sports/girls type of thing.
Bachelor stuff?
Yeah, yes,
yeah.
basically, yeah, when it was acceptable.
Toxic,
Right?
masculinity
Yes, yes,
stuff.
very toxic masculine, yes.
Toxic.
Huge. But one of the people there that wanted to launch the site with us, his name was Brian McNamee, and he was the trainer for Roger Clemens. He was the one embroiled in the whole steroid
Yeah, I thought that
controversy.
made sense.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
now you
so-
added some color to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Brian, it was he had just, I think, gone through Congress, and the news was just blowing up, and he wanted to do a book. And he went through a couple other writers and didn't like them. And I had never written a book, but he knew I could write, so he just said, "You want to do it?" And I said, "No, absolutely not." The first time, and,
Right, you get a little scared.
I was like, "This is a little bit big for me," and
Right.
but I did ultimately decide to do it. The book never came out. I got subpoenaed 3 times, but realized I could do it. So after that, I wrote the autobiography of Jerry Cheevers. He played for the Boston Bruins back
Yeah.
in the
Of course.
day, and yeah, so I was writing another one for someone else, but we're in a holding patent, and I decided I had the time to write The Last Longshoreman that you have there.
Yeah.
So I just keep going.
Show it up to the screen.
I'm not sure which one is on, but
Yeah.
yes, this is the long term.
So
My
tell-
copy, by the way.
That's right.
Oh, don't worry, people. I have my own, too.
Oh, geez, you just ruined it
Thank
for
you,
me.
by the way.
I heard he doesn't share, so I had to get
Yeah,
to you.
I thought, hey, whose side are you on?
So tell me a little bit about that.
About this one
book.
here?
Yes,
So my father was a longshoreman, just to, for 30 years.
in the Union.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. But it is a culture that the waterfront culture is something that's never really discussed. It's never really portrayed in movies or books.
I hear often, excuse me, I didn't mean to.
Sure.
To me, it seemed like almost not an antiquated, but an old term. I don't even really know what a longshoreman does or is responsible for. As a layman.
Few people do.
Yeah.
And it still surprises me. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, their first answer is they're fishermen. That's
Not
always.
it.
I think of 1800s. Just what I think of.
Well, that's when it originated.
No,
Well, yeah, I
even
mean,
before that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more. There's a lot more automation now. But I mean, guys still hauling stuff off of ships. But now they're working on cranes, forklifts.
Yeah.
And, stocking their warehouse and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So they generally unload stuff from ships onto the
yeah,
wharfs.
yeah.
and wherever,
Load,
yeah.
unload. Yeah, and they move things around on the docks and stuff like that. Sure.
Most of the ones are going to be down in Castle Island, like that most people.
Yeah,
see in
Southeast, South
term,
Boston.
right. The terminal that's down there with the
Yep.
big cargo, it
Black
gets pulled
Falcon,
off
Black
the.
Falcon
Oh, yeah.
Terminal,
Correct.
yeah. But there was always a criminal underbelly that was attached to
I'm very well aware of that.
Right. So, and I think the last time it was out there was, the movie On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando, 1950, I think.
54, I think.
54, yeah. So I decided to write that book, basically, just in a way to let people know this is, you need to learn about, this is real American history. You need to learn about it, So
Yeah.
I created my own story, of course, so it's fiction-ish, but
So then that gets you out of the legal
yeah,
subpoena stuff
yeah,
again.
I don't need to go through that again, but who knows? But so yeah, it's gotten great reviews.
That's a very good point for not writing nonfiction. You have license.
That's correct.
They're fictional.
And you have to
characters.
get waivers and all kinds
Yeah,
of things
No,
legally.
yeah.
I think I drop a line in there in the beginning that if this sounds like anybody, it's just a coincidence.
Oh, yeah,
things
right.
like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you had to get the ideas from somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So there'll be some similarities
Yeah.
to real life.
Right, and I incorporated my own creativity as well to put in all the crazy twists in the book. But it is educational reading, I think, and I think it's good, you know.
Now, is the new book that you have coming out,
Yeah.
that's going to be making an appearance February, or has it already?
No, it'll probably be late February. Yeah,
Okay.
because I keep going back and touching it up, and you know. But now I think it's ready to go. It's going to go to the editor next week. But I'm really excited about that one.
Are
'Cause,
you your own worst critic, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, I work on it so much that it tends to be boring after a while. You know, it's like seeing the same movie 10 times. Or seeing,
You're completely
reading the same book.
desensitized to the
Completely
story.
desensitized to the story. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this stinks. I'm throwing it
Yeah.
out. This stinks. So you always have to have that, keep that in mind, but, you know, a fresh perspective as well. Have someone else, you know, read it, proofread it.
What's the basis of this one?
So this is
What's the title? Is this the Miami?
Miami Underground. Yeah, it focuses on one guy, but he heads a team of thieves. There's 4 of them. And they steal high-priced items, you know, jewelry, paintings, things like that. The main guy's approached in Miami by a guy he doesn't know to steal something, but he didn't get a good feel, so he decided not to go with it. So they kidnapped his girl,
Oh.
you know? And from there, it's a roller coaster ride. But what they want them to steal is something out of the Versace mansion. So that's, to me, that's like the highlight of everything. But you know, but there's a lot of twists and turns. It's, you know, there's a lot of humor in it. There's a lot of sadness in it. You know,
Yeah.
so I try and incorporate everything. You
It's
know?
not really a good story, though, if you don't hit on some of those emotions as it goes along. Don't you agree?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, from conception to, I don't know
Yeah.
if completion or
Yeah.
publishing, how long approximately did it
A
take?
year and a
you?
half for the last longshoreman. I took 3 months
This-
off.
A year and a half minus 3, so you basically were working
That's really
15 months.
not that long in the writing world.
Yeah, I mean, I did work like an animal
Mm-hmm.
on it, which is why I had to take 3 months off. You know,
Yeah.
I was driving myself nuts.
Yeah.
But this next one it was about 6 months. But I had that story in my head for about 10 years. So.
As a writer, I bump into this all the time when I talk to authors, writers. Is there any room for you to make a living off of this?
I mean, there is. I mean, I have a friend who does it. He's written about 50 books.
Wow.
He's not Rockefeller or anything, but I think the real way to make money in this business is it's got to be a movie. You know, you
Right.
get to that point.
Yeah.
So-
And sell your story.
If you can get to that point, even option it to be a film is a big deal because then
Yeah,
sales boost way up. But these days it is difficult to get people to you know, to get it and read it and take the time, really, especially with, you know, everyone's got on their phone. They'd rather be on their phone. It's just.
I know.
But yeah, it's never going to deter me. I'll be writing forever. I mean, you know, this book here, The Last Longshoreman, 10 days in, and I got an email from a producer. So I was extremely encouraged. And,
Correct.
you know, the deal, you know, it didn't work out, but I was contacted by other producers too. So I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But in the meantime, I'll just, you know, keep moving forward.
Right. It's whatever they come in and say yes, and whatever you say yes to and agree in the middle is what's going to get it
Right,
done.
right.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered writing things like screenplays?
Yeah, I've written about a half a dozen. I'm a better novelist than I am a screenwriter, I'll be honest. So
Yeah.
I haven't even tried to really sell those. It's good. I enjoy writing them. It's an intimidating format, but I do enjoy writing them, but I actually enjoy this more.
Yeah.
I wrote a screenplay in 2 days once. And I think the short, yeah.
To what?
2 days.
2
yeah.
days.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I thought, you know, the story was good. I was challenging myself, and but even though this takes longer, I really do enjoy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So has your book sales been good
Oh yeah.
on the other ones prior to the last Longshoreman?
Oh yeah, surprisingly good. I mean, Jerry Cheever's book was, you know, we knocked it out of the park.
Oh, I
That
was going to
great.
say, yeah,
Awesome.
big headlines
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I worked on. I wrote 2 workout books for teenage boys, teenage girls. I was the ghostwriter. I wasn't telling anyone how to work out or live their life. So that was for 2 other people, but those were good too. I mean, they got a lot of good visibility. These days, it's a lot easier with social media. You can just throw it up there.
Yeah.
You know, so
Being a ghostwriter, what's that like?
it means you're at the mercy of the person who really is came up with the content.
But
And-
you really get no credit for anything.
No, you do it all. My name is on the cover. You do get credit.
Okay.
You can be that one who gets 0 credit out there. You have a sort of under the table agreement, you know, where, yeah, you're going to get paid, obviously, but your name's not going anywhere near this thing.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't think that's fair at all.
No, I don't either.
That's why I think you see a lot of celebrities, they'll do their book, but I think most of them do put the ghostwriter like at the bottom with someone, I mean, because they're obviously not writing the book, you know.
They don't have time when
Yeah,
they're
they-
trying to make a living and doing what they do.
Right, they're just
too.
talking, someone's recording them, and the other person's doing all the work and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
that brings up a question that you just came to my mind. When you see like a book by, we just use it for now, Louis Tiant, he wrote a book with
Yeah.
somebody else. What does that really, I mean, I know that the with is usually doing the writing,
yeah,
usually, if you know what I mean, they're the
Yeah.
professional writer.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? They're interviewing him, and maybe it's a bad example I'm using. I'm just saying, when you see that, how much does the person that, do they do any writing?
No.
Yeah, okay, so when it's with.
oh yeah,
It's-
yeah,
yeah.
they're the person doing all the work.
Yeah.
It's with, it could be, you know, as told to.
Right.
It depends what legalities they want
The
to
person has the
avoid
story,
and
that's
things
interesting,
like
but the
that,
person
you know
has the
what I mean?
skills writing it, the with.
Yeah.
The with.
It
Yeah.
comes down to the wording, always the wording.
It's the
Power of the
wording.
word.
Power of the word.
So do you like working on the underground kind of criminal, behind the scenes type of stories?
You know, it's funny, I fell into it. My friend told me, you really need to do this, you know. And I mean, I was writing sports before, you know. And
Now, when was this, by the way? Just to get a context of how long you've been doing all this writing, sort of, like from different things. Just
yeah, well, in 2008 was the steroid era. It's
Right.
really broke.
Was
They-
that- yeah, that
They
was your-
climaxed, I think, right around 2008, 2009. That's when I began writing Brian's book. So 9, 10 years.
So-
Screenplays were a lot longer. I did those first. So
you did screenplays before then?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So how long would you say you were writing something from about till?
About 15 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not terribly long.
Did you
Quite-
always
quite-
feel like you had that gift of writing, though?
The gift of creativity,
Yeah.
yes. I just didn't realize I could do it until I did it, you know? Before I wrote Brian's book, Brian McNamee, I said, I can't write a book. I was joking with a writer from the Herald who said he can't either. Should I not have said that? I don't know. But and then I did. I was like, whoa. But when I first started writing Brian's book, I really tried to impress him. I was writing like a chapter a day too fast. And it was choppy and it wasn't good. And he told me, he's like, it just doesn't flow. You gotta do it all, like whatever. And I was like, okay. I took a step back. I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
And just kind of relaxed, didn't have the pressure of a time frame.
Right.
Yeah, and just kind of let
Right.
the creativity part of
Right.
it come through.
So, you know, I'm creative when I'm ghostwriting. I also like to roll the dice with clients too. It never works out. Like I try to embellish something. They catch it every time and say, nope, didn't happen that way, didn't happen that way. So you gotta, rewrite it, which is fine.
But at the same time, you know what makes good writing and what's going
Yeah,
to draw the
you know,
people in.
yeah,
So just because it was true doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's good,
Yeah.
you know?
But I can tell you Brian's book, Jerry Cheeve, is 100% true all the way. Jerry's is phenomenal. His stories.
What's the name of that so the people at home?
Unmasked. Yeah.
Unmasked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched him starting in '72.
Right.
I was 12, and I was watching the Bruins all the time. So I watched him through the '70s. I'm
Yeah.
very familiar with his goaltending.
Right.
Success.
But his stories, even as a kid, were just phenomenal. Just like nothing you'd
Canadian,
ever heard.
right, though? He's
yeah,
from
yeah,
Canada.
he's from Ontario, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with every book, I have a party. I try and launch it with something special, And with the last long show, I went to a cigar bar
Nice.
in the North End called Stanza de Cigarra. It's my favorite place in the world. I love to smoke cigars. I love to drink scotch, bourbon, you name it, whatever.
You're a man's man. I like it too.
I'm a man's man. There's a lot of pretty girls there.
What's not to like?
What's not to like? So, but I'm gonna have another one for Miami Underground, same place. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I hope we'll be invited to that
Oh,
launch
you're
party.
VIP. You're VIP.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it's not men only?
I'm sorry. I can't. No.
Yeah, don't even try
just
that. See
kidding.
what I mean?
Late, I just told him I was kidding.
Yeah.
So do you have any, are you working on a next one
Oh,
now?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're like, this is just part of me
Well,
now.
you actually got ideas queued up for like not just the next one, but even ones after that?
I do.
Yeah. You know what I
but
mean?
I'm actually gonna write one with a couple of friends of mine.
Oh.
And we're going to have fun with it. It's a great
You mean there'll
story.
be widths on this? No.
Yeah. No. It's going to be story by them because I want to
Actually-
do as less as possible. Like,
Actually, wouldn't
just-
say width. I've seen books, I think I've seen 2 or 3 names, but they're just names. They're listed
Yeah.
So it doesn't say width. So that, I guess, does that imply you're all, I'm just.
Together
just
on
one-
it?
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
The smaller the name, the more work that person did.
Are you kidding? What? The small?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely on the cover, sure.
Yeah.
None of them write it. It's the people that with, or the ghostwriters are as told to, like I said, So
Do you have the same publisher through all of these?
these last 2, no. So the first 3 were published traditionally. I didn't have a great experience at all.
Oh, that's not good.
And when I wrote this one, I knew I wasn't even gonna. This was like my baby, The Last Longshoreman. No one was gonna touch it
Yeah.
and mess with it because that's
Total
what they
control.
do. That's what they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about control.
Yeah.
When you say, can we back up for a second? When you say mess with it, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, they'll change it. They'll make it any
They
way
have
you
people
want.
who read it and they'll
Change
hack this
characters.
out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
take
I
a
see.
chapter
So
out.
And
they
then
take-
you go in for the next meeting and they have it all redlined and deleted and they're like, this is what we
100%, yeah.
want to go. And they're
yeah,
just telling you
It goes through sort of a
basically.
metamorphosis
Yeah.
of some
Oh,
sort.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know, really. I
Yeah.
didn't know
And
that.
I mean, I like to have the control over everything. So,
Which I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, and I've been out there already. I've written. It's not like I'm trying to impress people. I've already been out there, so I'm not starting from ground zero when I decide to do it on my own. So this next one, my following has doubled. Out there. So I'm gonna put out this next one, and the next one's gonna be great. Like so good. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, now you have us intrigued. So do you have a name for that one yet?
Oh, the
Or-
one after?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I've been approached by other people too to write some nonfiction
Nonfiction, right.
tales about crime figures in Boston
Oh.
that I may or may not do. We'll see.
Figures or figures? No, just
Figures.
figures.
Depends on what part of
I
Boston
don't
you're
know what
from when you
part of-
say
no,
that.
Yeah.
England says figures. No, just
Yeah.
figures.
But I grew up in Boston. I mean,
Yeah. What part?
I grew up just out like in Medford. So I'm right outside Boston. And
Yeah, you're just on the other side of the
yeah.
world when it comes to people on this side
Right.
of Boston, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strange way that they all
Exactly,
think there's like
exactly.
this
Right.
world in
Right.
between.
But I grew up Italian, and relatives did this, that, and so I always understood the language and things like that. So for me to write these like something like that, it's a little, I guess it's a little easier. But I played baseball, half my life now, if you consider my age. But I played, in college too. So I love to write about sports as well. So I would consider going back if somebody wanted me to write their book. But
Right, but it would have to be a really good, something that grabbed you and your creativity and emotion
Yeah.
to carry that from
It'd have to
beginning
be
to end.
nonfiction for sure. Because that's what, when the producer first contacted me about this book, the second time he contacted me, he said, by the way, is this fiction or nonfiction? Because Hollywood loves a true story. I said, well, there's a lot of truth to it and this, that, but, that's they love. And so, which is why I could end up doing these other crime stories of the true nature, but we'll
Right.
see.
Because you think they may have a better chance of
They do.
reaching.
They absolutely do. They just, even though I can come up with the best story in the world, they do prefer a true story.
Yeah, there's no
Oh,
doubt when
no.
somebody sees based on a true story,
Oh,
it's
it's just-
it's intriguing.
Yeah,
If
Might
it's a
not be-
movie, I'll watch. If it's a book, hopefully I can read it.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a natural thing. I don't know. But
So the people at home, to get this book, can
Yep.
they get it on Amazon?
oh sure, Amazon. You get it print, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. It's really online. It's everywhere. So
Okay.
yeah, wherever you
And
go.
for anybody who wants to follow you on Facebook, how do you spell your name?
So it's MARC last
Remember
name.
that.
Zappula, ZAPPULLA. Instagram is author Mark Zappula.
Okay.
And Twitter's author Mark Zappula as well. So
All right.
no one
Nice,
else-
easy
Perfect.
Irish name, huh?
Yeah, nice Irish name.
Just
Nice Irish name.
Well, thank you so much for joining us,
Yes.
and I
Thank
hope
you.
you're going to
Thanks
come
for having
back when the new book
I'll
comes
be
out.
back. Count on it.
And we'll have a new signed copy for
Absolutely.
everybody.
And I am going to find out what a longshoreman is. Well, I really,
You may not want to. I'll tell you, it's
No.
pretty graphic. The book.
No. Well, thank you for joining us. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for coming
Thank you.
on
Really
to it.
appreciate it.
Really, and thank you.
Take
for-
care.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you for
care.
the book, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Well, I finally know or have an inkling of what a longshoreman is. I wasn't kidding in that interview. No, I mean it. I mean, it's a term I've always heard, had no idea really what they did or whatever, and I still don't. I got to read the book. But at least I was right. They are attached to a wharf, right?
Well,
sort of.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you're trying to give yourself credit. Okay, we'll give them the credit for that.
Well, I
Anyway.
often go without so others can
No,
have.
that is so not true. People at home don't.
Whoa, 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 whoa! It's very
So
true.
let's get into saying goodnight. We're not going to have this.
Yeah, but they're gonna miss us.
They will.
No?
I hope so.
All right. Well, that wraps up. I know one person is glad we're wrapping up. I am not, though. Until next time, I'm Peter,
And I'm Ann.
and the show where planets align but often collide. We will see you again next time soon.
Thank you for watching.
Good
Good
night.
night.